Direct indexing is effectively taking an index and rather than it being sort of borne by the asset manager, you have sort of the intermediary providing that index. And what it means is that you take, like, just take the S&P, you're actually trading, you're putting a synthetic portfolio that kind of tracks to the S&P. And the cool part, and I think it ties back to the ESG comment, the cool part is the technology today allows us to do that. Right? You can actually trade fractional shares and across a typical, let's call it the S&P index, without it having to go to BlackRock. You can actually do that within a Sidepocket and not have to route it to an asset manager and incur the costs related to that. The second part, and I think it ties back to ESG, why is that important? Because, and this is around customization, and it can get, to your point, like where's the, there's a fine line between value and sort of non-value, but you can pull names out of that S&P that you don't like tobacco. Okay, so now I can take the S&P and say, okay, remove tobacco companies, remove firearm companies, and package it with everything but those, right? And that's the concept of direct indexing. And so I think it has a ton of value because if you think about at least the fintech world, robos kind of grew up with, okay, I'm going to give you $1,000. You're going to fill out this risk score. It's going to say, okay, what's your horizon? What's your this? Like how long, do you have kids? All these questions you answer. And it's going to say, you are in the growth fund. The growth fund then maps to the BlackRock growth fund. Right, so effectively, it took a ton of the nonsense out. It lowered the cost. The explicit cost to do that is now, 30 basis points versus 1%. So it's a lot cheaper. Great for the end investor. But you're just dumping it into an ETF that you could buy directly. The concept of direct indexing is that you can customize that index and, again, take some of the costs out that are borne by the asset managers and place that in the hands of the investor. And the technology today allows for that to happen. It's tricky though, right? I think the part is asset managers are really good. I got one next to me, are really good at packaging those portfolios into ETFs. Now you get into a situation where you have, someone that may not in the case of, the Sidepocket team, but firms that are not skilled at asset management, packaging funds for clients, right? So the downside of direct indexing is that you can, kind of package these things for clients by people that really are not skilled in doing that.